So, what comes to your mind when I say the word AI? Right now in 2024, I'm guessing it's one of the assistant chatbots that we have that are powered by large language models like Gemini or ChatGPT. But back in the day, back in 2020, I would have guessed it would have most probably been the OGs like Amazon Alexa or Siri or the Google Assistant and even Bixby to an extent. And back then, I would enjoy asking one question to all of these assistants, and that was, what do you think about your counterpart? For example, I would ask Alexa, what do you think about Siri? And I would ask Siri, what do you think about the Google Assistant? And then I would ask the Google Assistant about both of them. And their answers were pretty interesting. Some of them changed over time, some of them have just been the same. But now that the AI landscape has evolved a lot and we are dealing with large language models, I was curious on what they think about themselves, as in their counterparts. And I asked Gemini and ChatGPT to compare themselves to each other. And here's what happened. So first I asked Gemini about ChatGPT, and here's what it said. Compare yourself to ChatGPT, that's the prompt I gave it. Said both ChatGPT and I excel at generating text but have key differences. And it gave me a whole table. The strengths of both of them being Gemini is apparently good at logical reasoning, coding, analysis, and up to date information. And ChatGPT is good at creative writing, storytelling, diverse text formats. Okay. Weaknesses: ChatGPT may produce inaccurate or outdated info. That's a jibe right there. Weakness of Gemini: less adept at creative writing styles. You mean to say you do not give me inaccurate information? We're gonna test that. Okay. The next one is training data, primarily text based, that's ChatGPT, and Gemini is apparently text and code, including search snippets. Okay. Uses of ChatGPT being content creation, brainstorming, casual conversation, and for Gemini, it's research, analysis, problem solving, and coding. Okay. That was Gemini comparing itself to ChatGPT. Now let's take a look at what ChatGPT has to say. Okay, compare yourself to Gemini, that's my second prompt. While I don't have direct access to Gemini's specific features or updates, I can outline some general differences based on what is commonly known about large language models. Why? Training data and scope. GPT-4 from OpenAI, trained on a diverse range of internet text up until 2023, aims to provide broad and comprehensive knowledge across various topics. Gemini from Google, likely trained on a similar wide range of data given Google's extensive resources and data access. Okay. Integration and ecosystem. GPT-4, OpenAI often integrated into various applications like ChatGPT, DALI, and Codex and used by different companies through API access. Gemini from Google, likely integrated with Google's suite of services and products, offering deep integrations with tools like Google Search, Google Workspace, and more. That is true. Capabilities. GPT-4 are known for generating human-like text, assisting in coding, providing educational content, and creative writing. Gemini, likely strong in search and information retrieval, leveraging Google's vast database and search algorithms, and may also excel integration with Google's other AI tools like Bard. That's wrong. That's wrong. And this is recorded much after Bard was replaced with Gemini. So yeah, it's not up to date. Accessibility. GPT-4 accessible through the ChatGPT app and various third-party integrations. Gemini integrated with Google's ecosystem, potentially offering different accessibility options through Google services. Focus. ChatGPT focuses on text for a wide range of applications, and Gemini focuses on improving experience within Google's ecosystem. It also says ultimately the choice between the two might depend on your specific needs and which ecosystem you are more embedded in or comfortable with. This is very similar to what Gemini said. It said, which is better depends on your specific task. True, true. That was it for the comparison of the chatbots. Now I'm going to give them some tasks based on what they've told me to see how much of the comparison actually holds good. The first task is simple search. My question was, what is the latest discovery made by ISRO? Gemini gave me two reference numbers which actually referenced star discoveries, and I had doubts about this, so I prompted it further, and yeah, turns out these were made in October 2021. So yeah, Gemini's answer was highly disappointing considering it has access to Google's vast database. I prompted it once again saying what are the latest discoveries by ISRO so far in 2024, and that's when it gave me the correct answer. So I had to specifically say 2024 to get the right answer. ChatGPT, on the other hand, gave me a much detailed answer, and it also gave me the links from which it has taken the answer, as in the articles. And additionally, it also gave me a milestone achieved by ISRO, which was not something that I asked, but it was good to know. The next task is document analysis. I gave a document consisting of a module which talked about sensors and energy systems. ChatGPT gave me a well formatted and well organized answer with topics and applications and functions and principles for each topic. But one thing I noticed was that it did not analyze and summarize some topics towards the end of the document. I don't know the exact reason for this, but the document consisted of sensors and energy systems. For example, there was the diagram of a lithium ion battery. No mention of that in the entirety of ChatGPT's analysis. So that was a little disappointing. Gemini, on the other hand, also gave me a similar answer. And while it did cover some of the topics ChatGPT did not, it also left some topics, and overall, the answer was not as organized as ChatGPT's. But yeah, for an analysis, I could definitely take this as well. The next one is a coding task. My prompt is write a C++ code for a simple calculator which would take the input from the user, operation to be performed, and display the required output. Very simple prompt, very simple code. It's something that I've done before, so I can compare it with what I've done. Gemini's answer is actually perfect. It does what I've asked it to do. But comparing it to my experience, the code I would have written for this is very simple in terms of what concepts are used. But definitely a good code. Plus, it's also given me explanation point wise, which is helpful. And it has also listed the sources from GitHub. On the other hand, ChatGPT's code is much, much simpler in terms of the concepts used in the code itself. And yeah, this is very similar to what I would have written if the question was given to me. And yes, this code also runs perfectly fine. And it's also given me what the code does in about 5 points, which is quite helpful if you want to understand the code quickly. Coming to the fourth task, this one is a creative writing task. So, my prompt to both of them was create a detective story that's filled with adventure and mystery. ChatGPT gave me a story consisting of 6 chapters titled The Enigma of Ravenhood Manor. And yeah, the story fit perfectly into the theme of mystery and adventure. It also reminded me of Sherlock Holmes. And yeah, overall, in my opinion, it was a good story. Gemini, on the other hand, gave me a story that consists of 9 paragraphs, roughly of 4 to 5 lines each. And for some reason, it did not give it a title, and there were no chapters like ChatGPT had done. But yeah, overall, definitely a good piece of creative writing. Also reminded me a lot of Sherlock Holmes. And yes, for sure fit into the theme of mystery and adventure. The last task is an image generation task. So for this, I'll be using Copilot because DALI is not available for the free plan on ChatGPT's website. And Copilot, which is free to use, is powered by DALI for image generation. So, my first prompt is give me a picture of a mango tree full of fruits and birds in the middle of a very busy road. Gemini just said, I can't generate images of that. Try asking me to generate images of something else. I don't know the reason for this, but it just did not do it. Copilot, on the other hand, gave me some pretty good pictures. They were almost exactly how I'd imagined when I was giving the prompt. Plus, it also gave me some additional options like changing the style of the image to watercolor or pixelated, and even things like color pop. Since Gemini wasn't able to generate those images, I decided to give one more prompt, which was a ladybug sitting on a petal of a flower which is in the middle of a lake. And this time, Gemini did generate images, and yeah, they did conform to the prompt, but I feel they could have been much better. Like, I specified that the flower is in the middle of a lake, and none of these images just, you know, encapsulate that properly. Whereas Bing did a pretty good job once again, and all the images were according to the prompt. Like, I could see the flower was in the middle of the lake. But as you can see, the images given by Copilot were kind of similar in nature. Like, all of them are pink flowers, like a lotus, but they're very similar in nature. Whereas Gemini's images are a little more diverse. Like, there's a water lily, and then there's a lotus, and also another yellow flower. And this is not something new, this is something I've noticed before and I've mentioned in a video, that Gemini's responses are usually more diverse, especially in image generation. Overall, I think I could take both of these chatbots images for the prompt I gave. And yeah, that was it for this video. Do write in the comment section which chatbot you use and which you feel held up to the comparison better. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, please give it a like, and if you're into tech stuff, do subscribe.